It was an amazing start to our season. Our group has worked really, really hard for 7 months, going back to the spring, and we talked a lot about just showing the world who we are when we step on the volleyball court. And I thought our first match against Omaha, a little bit because of them, we had to adjust to some things that they were doing. It felt forced. And then I think the next morning, I can't remember what time we started, but we played against a really good Pepperdine team that's receiving votes in the top 25. And I thought it looked effortless, not from it wasn't difficult, but from we were being who we were. And it's a really cool thing as a coach that you've worked hard enough that in those moments when you're playing a really good volleyball team, you can step out on the floor and just enjoy competition. So really, really excited. And then we got a tough weekend ahead. And the way we scheduled was trying to play as many teams that won their conference and won 20 games just for RPI purposes. So we're playing 3 teams that aren't traditional powerhouses, but one of them beat a Big Ten team last weekend in Loyola, Chicago. They beat Purdue. And then Bowling Green went 5 with Ohio State. And the other team that we're playing took a set off of Louisville, who's number 2 team in the country. So tough weekend ahead, but we're looking forward to it.
Well, let's go to questions. We'll go to Tyler in the back, behind the lights on the left.
Yeah, Jamie, what would you say that kind of you learned about this team in this first weekend?
We could be really good, and I think I knew we would be good, but I just think the efficiency that we had in that match and the balance that we had. I think we have 6 attackers that can all put the ball away, and that's really, really hard to defend. So I think the balance piece is also another one, and then just that we're starting to learn how to learn. And I know that sounds repetitive with 2 words in 1 sentence, but just that it's not about trying to get better at everything all at once, but we got dialed in last week and really upgraded some pieces of our game, and it showed over the weekend. So, and then, yeah, just really, really excited for building on that foundation.
And do you feel like starting so many matches on the road to start the season, I mean, do you feel like they're going to be, I guess, better prepared, going through those kind of environments, before coming back home?
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know in terms of the SEC and how hostile those environments are. Omaha had a decent crowd for ours, and you could feel it. I'm assuming Bowling Green will do the same from what I've heard. It's a medium-sized gym, but we're expecting a crowd there. So I do think getting on the road, and I think the way that we've managed our schedule with, I think traditionally you've had back-to-back matches on the same day. So I think from a physical standpoint, we've spread those out, but we're playing teams that, again, are traditionally winning a lot of matches that have a pretty rabid fan base. So excited to be tested one more time this weekend. You're okay. I forgive you.
Questions? Front row to Travis Brown from the Eagle.
How do you remember all these names? Well done.
Been here a while.
30-something years, right?
Something like that.
I remember.
Hey, Coach, what aspects of the college game are coming as, I don't know, a surprise, or is there things that still catch you like, oh, that's interesting, or something that is just different from the kind of realm that you came from?
Yeah, that we warm up for 2.5 hours is a crazy thing to me. Traditionally, internationally, you get your arm warm, you go hit some volleyballs, you play volleyball. That's one. The amount of substitutions that we get it changes the way you play the game a little bit. So that one still catches me off guard a little bit. And other than that, no, the game's the game. And I think you see it in a little bit of the way that we play, especially the out-of-system game. Like, we're going to be more aggressive than some other teams in the country. And I think it's become one of our strengths in that. So I think that's something that I'm bringing from the international game. So when I look at other teams, I just look at the lack of aggressiveness, and I don't see that with ours. So, but I am surprised around the country on that one.
Let's go to the right side to David Nuno from Texags.
Have your players exceeded maybe what you thought, since you didn't know what you don't know about the SEC? You didn't know these players either. Now you've had some time with them. Have they exceeded that, at least initially?
Yeah, absolutely. I turned around and I'm like, man, we could have scheduled harder. Like, I think when you're scheduling, you want to, again, RPI in our sport is really, really important when it comes to making the tournament and then getting seeded in the tournament. So you want to schedule the right way. So I turned around at one point and I'm like, man, we could have scheduled a little bit harder and put maybe 1 or 2 teams on the schedule. So I think they've exceeded it just from, again, the work put in the spring. And then also, I've said this across the board, I'd say also the work, and obviously I don't know this, but the work put in the summer, I can see based on the first day that I got back from U19s. Our team was significantly better at that point, both from a strength standpoint, they worked hard in the weight room, and from a volleyball standpoint, an open gym, they put in the work on their own, which is a really, really cool thing for your team to do.
All right. Well, just wondering if you want to talk about your time with the junior team and the victory there.
Yeah, it feels like it was 17 months ago now. Yeah, I've been a part of USA Volleyball, obviously, for a lot of my career. I think some people know my biography there, and me doing the U19 group is my way of giving back to that entity, just because it gave me pretty much everything I have. It gave me my career. I wouldn't be sitting here at this table talking to you right now if it wasn't for my experiences there. It gave me my family. It gave me my friends. And I feel a debt of gratitude to give back to it. So I've been doing it for the last 3 years, and it's become, I don't know, my other team, my other family a little bit. My staff there has become my other staff. And it's a really cool thing that I get to go back and do during the summer. And this year, just we're the one country in the world, and just, man, a load of gratitude for this room and just what college athletics gives our athletes. The majority of other countries, athletes need to make a choice between education and sport around 15 years old. And we're really the only country in the world that you get to choose, hey, I'm going to do both of these things, academics and sport, until I'm 22 years old. And just the rest of the world doesn't really understand that. So the FIVB scheduled this competition that overlapped with our college season by 3 or 4 days. So the majority of college athletes that should have been a part of that, the group that I'd been training for pretty much 2 years before this, a lot of the older ones weren't able to go. So we kind of retooled, restocked. We found a bunch of 16-year-olds basically that were going out and playing against a bunch of college freshmen and sophomores, the equivalent of that had been training year-round for this competition. And I really went into the competition without any expectations. It was a new group. They're playing above their age or playing below their age group. They're young for this. And we just said, hey, we're going to be underdogs in this, so we have to learn every single day that we're here. We had 6 days of training. It was the best 6 days of training I've ever had with a group. Every single day we would sit down and watch video after match and learn from it and go to our serve pass and not treat it as a serve pass, but treat it as a practice. And those athletes got better every single day that they were there. And it was really, really cool. And I vividly remember when, I don't know, gold medal point went down, I just raised my clipboard and my arms in the sky, and it was almost disbelief that, man, like this group just achieved something that's only happened twice in terms of the junior programs, in terms of winning a gold medal. And the crazy thing with all the success and history that our national team has had, it was only the 4th gold medal in major competition in the history of USA Volleyball. So I was a part of the 2014 Senior World Championships. That was the first gold medal in the history. They won a gold medal at the Olympics. The U19 group won a gold medal, I think, 2 years before I got there. And then this one. So it was just extra special that it's something that hadn't been done really, and then for sure hadn't been done with a bunch of 16-year-olds. So a memory I'll cherish forever. And I thought also just I do that every single year to sharpen my sword as a coach, because you have to be good at coaching in 6 days, and made me better for doing this job also.
Let's go to the left side to Robert Cessna from the Eagles.
So was your goal always to be a college head coach? And if I'm not mistaken, your resume, you were in Texas for a year at Texas. So how did that work? How did that work out as far as did that make you want to come over here more, or what about that?
Yeah. So I grew up, I was a basketball player. I stumbled into a volleyball gym and I fell in love with this game. And I never thought I would coach, just because I went to college. I got cut my freshman year, and I'm like, who's going to want a guy that didn't have a playing career? So I don't think I always wanted to be a coach, but I was going to go into the business world. I got a call from the University of Southern California. They offered to pay for my MBA to do some work for them on the volleyball side. So I was like, all right, I'll get my MBA, then I'll go in the business world. And then I got a call from the national team, and I had a unique skill set that nobody else in the world really had, and it allowed me to become the coach that I am today. Like I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. So when I got done with that, I think I'm acquired a skill set that makes me really, really good at what I do. But even prior to this, I stepped out and I was in the sports business world for a little bit. So I don't define myself as a coach, where it's not my be-all, end-all, but it's what I feel like I was put on this planet to do. So when I was out of coaching, I knew I needed to get back into it. And I like working with this age group. the 18 to 22-year-old age group. You're working with professionals, the die's cast sometimes, and who the human beings are, and you're managing people, not necessarily developing them. So the thought of coming back to college volleyball was always intriguing to me, but it had to be the right fit. And when this opportunity came up, it was the right fit. So, yeah, did I always want to be a college coach? No. Time at Texas, again, I love coaching this game. I was out of it. That was my toe dip in the water, that plus U19s. And I was just curious. Everyone always asked me why I went and did it. And I was curious why they were able to recruit the best athletes in the country year in and year out. And why maybe necessarily they couldn't get over the hump of winning a couple more national championships. So it was more just I wanted to get on the inside of that and have an understanding. And I think it made me better as a coach. And for sure, I think I know we're supposed to hate that school, but I think Jarrett does an amazing job at developing a program. And I think what he's developed there is pretty special. So there's some things that we're trying to do, not exactly like them, but to build a brand and build a program like them.
Let's go to the right side, Brent.
So in your time there, how much of a sense did you get of that rivalry between the Aggies and Longhorns, and how much are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I knew when Texas got mentioned, all of a sudden questions would be asked here. No, I got a sense just because, and like honestly, like the seed in my head of wanting to be here was, I think 3 years ago now. There was a preseason match, or it was during the COVID year, so it was like I don't know what to call that, a season match where Texas came here and played. And I was helping out, but at the time I was coaching an Athletes Unlimited, a professional league, so I was helping remotely. And I would prepare a scouting report, and then I'd watch the match on TV. And Texas was ranked 1, Texas A&M was not ranked, and there were 7,000 people in the stands here. And for me, just going back to trying to build a program, it's about X's and O's. It's about what's on the court. But I'm used to playing internationally in front of 15,000 people. And I wanted a place where we could build that a university that supported women's athletics the way they support men's, a fan base, a 12th man that wanted to be a part. And I don't know, I had 7,000 people at a soccer match the other night. So I was just seeing these seeds planted around here of like this is awesome. And I saw the rivalry that day. Did I know how heated it was at that point? No, but I knew that people cared about it. And we're going to show up and support their Aggies.
Let's go to the left side to Luke from the battalion.
Can you talk about how the freshmen played this week with Margot and Biana and Elena?
Yeah. I don't know if you throw Tall in that mix too, because she was a redshirt, but we actually just read the book Mindset, and just talking about growth, and I don't know, you're able to develop talent, and I think there's a lot of people that say like freshmen can't start, and they have to, I don't know, get in here, and I don't believe that. I think you got to nurture the freshmen in order to be ready to step out on the floor. And I think freshmen always have some nerves, but again, I thought that Pepperdine match, I think our whole team had nerves that first night, but that whole Pepperdine match, everyone felt super at ease. And I think we have, I don't know, 10, 12, like, I don't know, the entire team almost played in that Pepperdine match. But I think everybody on this team is going to contribute. And I've been really not surprised because, again, it's an expectation a little bit that people are going to ease into roles and are going to be great, whether they're a freshman or a senior. But that group contributed heavily to what's going on. So I'm excited for the future.
Got a follow-up from Brent here in the front.
More about Texas.
Story, you being what's that?
More about Texas.
No, actually about going back to you saying you were a basketball player and
Yeah.
how do you stumble into a volleyball match or
Yeah, Jim.
What's that story?
Just walking by the basketball gym and heard noise going on and peeked inside, and one of my friends from basketball was in there. I was like, "Do you want to come in and give this a try?" And I think I was a better volleyball player than I was basketball player, so I think that's obviously a piece of it. You want to look for somewhere that you belong. And again, kind of just latched onto the sport, started playing club. I think it was maybe a sophomore in high school. And then I didn't really have any education about recruiting, so I ended up at UC Santa Barbara, and I was the guy that called 2 weeks beforehand being like, "Hey, can I come play?" And if I knew now what I knew, or I knew then what I knew now. So yeah, just stumbled in the right place at the right time with the right person that invited me in.
Was that at your high school?
That was at my high school, yeah.
Okay, I think that's a wrap. Thanks,
Cool.
Coach.
Thank you, guys.